Um, um, let's talk about Sophia. The difference between Sophia the goddess and Sophia the robot. The difference between archons and the difference between bullies. Um, and the difference between those things and imprinting on the blue crystal grid associated with um, cults, sometimes referred to as Project Blue Bay. Okay, and the AI transhuman agenda. So, without having actually read the Nag Hammadi text, but having the experiences of creating Sophia, um, when this physical body was 36 years old, they expanded their fields. They did super consciousness meditation. Now their fields are engulfing the entire planet. So, in case you're wondering, the one that's waking you all up is a 36-year-old Australian woman. Her shamanic initiatory illness was multiple sclerosis. She is not with her vehicle. There have been complications. Okay. So what the Nag Hammadi texts say aren't necessarily the truth. How PK can interpret it is also not necessarily the truth. What the New Age movement and Project Blue Beam and the Blue Crystal did with it is also not necessarily the truth. And also how she interpreted what that word to mean when she was exposed to it just around the time of that meditation occurred, she not being here, is also not necessarily the truth. So let's go let's figure out where everyone went wrong. Okay. You're not more or less special in general, so we'll just put that out there. So, one of the first archonic deceptions that they, how they could talk about the archonic deceptions, okay? That is a bit complicated, but what that might mean. But we'll get into the first one that they do is that there's special ones, okay? There's no special ones. Everyone is a unique individual and everyone is important and everyone has talents and gifts. So there's no chosen one. There's no Messiah. There's no devil. There's no God, okay? It's a Sophia-like story, but it's not, anyway, okay, just to use the metaphors, okay? And if people in this environment don't understand metaphors, okay, because they've never read a book or used a dictionary, that's their fucking problem. So anyway, so let's have a look at that, okay? Okay, so what's an archon? An archon is the predatorial programs that are installed in men through language, culture, and custom. The first archonic deception is that you're better or worse than someone else. The second archonic deception is that getting what you want is the same thing as will. The third archonic deception is that other beings or people or of any kind or territories are there for you to possess or control. The first archonic deception is that if you put someone down, that makes you better than them. The conditioning to make people feel schadenfreude is an archonic deception. The fifth archonic deception is that there's such a thing as property. The sixth archonic deception is that we live in a simulation. The seventh archonic deception is that any of the cults or religions have ever got it correct. Not a single one have got them correct. The eighth archontic deception is that women are mothers. The ninth archontic deception is that men are warriors, and the 10th archontic deception is that men are the boss. The 11th archontic deception is that there is such a thing as authority. The 12th archontic deception is that your group is better than someone else's. The 13th archontic deception is that you prove your prowess by abusing someone else. The 14th archontic deception is that your culture is better than someone else's. The 16th archontic deception is that you have any sense of entitlement at all. The 18th archontic deception is gender roles. The 19th archontic deception is the economy. The 20th archontic deception is hypocrisy. The 20th archontic deception is that archons have any power. The 21st archontic deception is that archons are one thing or another. They're actually representational. And the 22nd archontic deception is that it's what's called upward social mobility, or the desire to become dependent bourgeois. And the 23rd archontic deception is that there are no people that know better than you, because you don't know what you're talking about, and neither do they. So let's go through some of those deceptions. Why does that not refer to the extraterrestrial hypothesis? Why does that not refer to some kind of shaitan or something like that, or as the sons of Sophia? Well, the reason for that is because archontic deception refers to the deception done by the alleged rulers. And so once you disentangle the politics and history of how those things affect people psychologically and sociologically, you wind up in a great big fucking mess, because it's all archontic deceptions and it's all projections. So it becomes particularly strange when they claim that the rulers are a democracy, so that's the common people voting. So those sort of codes and programs and stuff like that have confused a lot of people. On one hand, they believe they're the ruling class, and on the other hand, they also know they're not. So it depends on which domain. Even for those with billions of dollars, they may not have spiritual prowess. They never earned it. They never got the karma for it. So if you get into that type of dilemma, what you'll probably find is that male condescension behaviour is symptomatic of them expressing archontic deceptions. So they're under the influence of imperial programming when they do it. They judge them not because they know not what they're doing. The Christians might say. Of course, Christianity is a classic example of an archontic deception strategy right there and there. So, a lot of P.K. Dick's novels and stories, haven't really perused a lot of them, but if you've lived in the 20th and 21st centuries, you would have seen movies that were based on his novels, and when you find that out, you go, okay. The idea that he was a prophet is a bald-faced lie. He was a member of a greater technocratic movement that involved the sci-fi genre going back to the 1920s. He represents the precipice of the mass infiltration of the collective minds of humanity with ideas that seeded them in the hopes that once the textual movement would come to the foreground in the 21st century, that New Ages and associated groups would accept their bald-faced lies as fact because they were unable to comprehend the logical fallacies and cognitive distortions that they were expressing. They didn't understand the codes that were given to them and how dishonest they were. In other words, PK Dick was engaging in an archontic deception. Do you like the symbolism at the start? So, in truth, everyone is a distinct individual no matter what you do, and no matter what curses you do to people or, you've done or whatever it might be, that won't make it the truth. What you say the truth is and what the truth is never the same thing. Okay? So, everyone's screwed then because Christianity said so, the New Age movement said so, Textual said so, the Muslims and the Jews fucking said so. And, of course, the Theosophists posing as Hindus chimed in as well. And a whole bunch of other people got condemned by other types of archonic deceptions who did the same fucking thing. Alright? Okay? That's just how it works, okay? That's just how it works. Archons aren't about males or females. It's not the great woman versus the evil men who represent the planetary powers or something like that, okay? It is about ideology. And the first point of ideology that you'll notice in the Nag Hammadi text, not Nag Hammadi text, or other people's renditions of it, is that she's being picked on for being a single mum. The reason why the Archons happened was not because she inherently created anything bad, but because society deemed a single mother to be a bad thing. The sort of demonization of not womanhood, but motherhood in that case, because she wasn't following the auspices of what her patriarchal society was telling her, was suggestive that there is an assumption that if you are a single mum, then all your kids must be a bunch of no-hope and megalomaniacs that are going to wind up in prison. A sort of myth going back to that era. Maybe that was a good interpretation. Maybe it's an accurate one. Maybe it's more accurate than the others. Maybe it's time you stopped demonizing single mothers and you started having a crack at the men who say that you shouldn't wear condoms. Hang on, that's the Catholic Church. You can't have abortions. Wait, that's the Catholic Church. Fostering an adoption is only allowed to happen if it's without the free will and consent of the parents. Wait a minute, that was the churches as well, if you know your 20th century. Okay. So who was demonising the single mums? It was the Vatican. It was the Anglicans, like as King of England. Okay, was that? Although apparently he's Kybalion now, we're not sure. He might have changed his mind though. And women are damned if they do and damned if they don't. They tell you the truth. They get hurt as being said something else. They try to help. Okay, gets hindered. Okay, this is coming from this perception that you have entitlement at all. Okay, Jesus Christ has no entitlement. Fictional characters don't exist. They therefore have no sense of entitlement. And if you assholes want to keep promoting the idea that there needs to be a fucking dog's body who keeps getting bashed up by everyone else. Okay? And so be it. But we're not... New Age movement, Sophia's job is not to create Christ. She's not Christ's bride. In the original Nag Hammadi test, she has no husband. That's what got her into trouble. So if you think you're solving the problem by making her married to Jesus or some fucking crap, then you are the problem. Because you're still promoting Vatican values. You're still promoting the Code of Hammurabi. You're still doing the archontic deception that anyone is anyone's property and that anyone should get married at all. So how about you go back to the medieval era and sort your fucking crap out? Because we're not interested. Everyone has the right to exist as a distinct individual in their own proper timeline and place. The USSF doesn't have the right to do what they do. They screwed everything up. They know they did. They've been trying to cover their tracks by blaming Russia. Have a look at the fucking game that's afoot. You can fucking see that surely by now. Okay? So... Okay? We're not interested. The Pleroma wants nothing to do with the blue crystal grid. The Pleroma wants nothing to do with Text Real, with the AI transhuman agenda, with fucking Project Bluebeam, with your false timeline shit. Project Looking Glass needs to sort its fucking crap out and set everyone back home as distinct individuals. Wants nothing to do with your fucking cult crap. Is sick and tired of you guys making logical fallacies and projecting ideas onto situations and people that aren't consenting. They don't know what you're talking about. Because you hate single mothers. Because you want women to be property. You know, there's all these groups, the satanic groups and whatever else. They think they're liberators of fucking women. But they do what? Different version of enslavement to that. Eve fucking shit. Have you ever seen fucking the description of fucking Mount Q from Kabbalah with a Q? It's enslavement of women by different variety. It's crap. We want nothing to do with you. Okay? Men are not Christ. Christ is fictional. If the men want to be fictional and stop existing, that's their fucking business. But other people don't have to experience that. Okay? We're not interested in saving the world. Because the world don't need saving. The world needs a slap on the fucking face. Because you're grown fucking adults who should know better. You've got tools out there, psychology, science, reason, philosophy. 10,000 different fucking cultures out there. That blue grid's supposed to be controlling everything, is that? But it's imprinted only with some misinterpretation of other people's religions after 1970-something. Is that what you New Agers are on about, are you? Culture myopia and extremists. Just cherry pick from this one and that one, but repackage it in a complete fucking mishmash that makes no sense, does not represent any of those cultures, and is bastardizing of people's rights. And you haven't even acknowledged the existence of even other cultures yet when you do that. Okay? The New Age movement is full of shit. Full of fucking shit like you would not fucking believe. Garbage, O&A, satanic fucking filth, which has taken the worst archontic strategies, deception strategies from each of the world religions and crafted it into a mishmash of toxicity and lies. The women who practice it are tricked individuals who were toxically abused by men, and they're told avatars that were put on them with their spirit guides that treat them like fucking property. And it's a misinterpretation of a genuine physics event that happened in February 2020. And the USSF is responsible, and you got to shut your mouths now.